Welcome back, y'all. All like 36 of you. So, I'm on my way down to Vanderbilt to have another MRI done. I got some junk in my back that is not where it's supposed to be. Honestly, I have a T4 compression fracture. I think it's still causing me a little more problems than what it should. There may be some herniation, maybe a pinched nerve. I don't know. That's why I'm going to people that are much smarter than me to fix it. At this point, what's a little more metal? I got some in my neck, I got some in my arm, put a little in my back, right? Anyways, I'm gonna start doing things a little bit differently on the channel than the way I do things. It's been primarily just me learning how to do this whole YouTube thing, and if it takes off, awesome. If not, it's still kind of fun. But it's not just gonna be solely fishing anymore. It's more of a farm vlog type deal, if you will. Things I go through on the farm, things I do in between my doctor's appointments when I have the availability. That being said, I do start physical therapy for my neck and hopefully my hand on Tuesday when this big green thing comes off. But that being said, there is, in the professional fishing world, there is a very large disturbance. Not so much on the professional side, but a lot on the keyboard warriors and the naysayers. It's something I want to, not that it matters, but give my 2 cents on. Robert Turkla, LunkersTV, Drew, whatever you want to call him. It's really weird because I've been watching this dude on YouTube for the last 5 or 6 years, so I feel like I know him. But in reality, I don't. And he ain't got a clue who the hell I am, which is cool. It's all good, all fine and dandy. But that being said, people think that this man is absolutely nuts, that he is going to jump into the pro fishing world and absolutely fail, which is, I don't believe so. I think it could be farther from the truth. If you look at it, it's gonna make headlines whether he wins first or he comes in dead last, because him and the Googans, granted people hate them, but him and the Googans made a huge disruption in the commercial fishing world, like in the bait production world. They made a huge disruption. They changed the way everything happens, and people, yeah, they copy baits, whatever. You can say what you want. It's not about who did what and who has the best design, yada yada yada. It's 90% of it is what you have confidence in. Yes, I use Googan baits. Why? Because I didn't fish for a long time because I got too wrapped up in work and I'm stupid. But I said I'm gonna give it a try, and I started catching some substantial fish. So it grew my confidence in that bait and that style. So yeah, I use them. I also use other things. I have some KVD Signature Series baits. I have a Yozuri umbrella rig that I just bought. It's my first A-rig. Why? Because I thought they were cheating. But that was little old young, naive me, and didn't pay attention to the thought processes that bass have. Anyways, wow, my train is derailed. Okay, back to Rob. Regardless of if he goes first place in the Bassmaster Open Series or the Toyota Series, whatever it is, both of them, if he gets first or he gets dead last, it's not going to hurt him, per se. It's really not. Steve Harvey absolutely butchered Miss America, Miss Universe, whoever it was a couple years ago. But his name that night was Googled, I want to say like 400 million times. So even bad publicity is still publicity. It still draws attention to who you are, what you do, and the business that he has as a whole. Well, business is. I feel like the man owns 20-something businesses. But I understand his mindset, especially as somebody with PTSD and social anxiety. It's really, really weird, but I have it. The way for me, and I feel like somewhat for him too, the way to stay out, to keep those demons at bay, per se, is to keep your mind active. Is to always focus on something else. So for him, I feel like it's, what's the next challenge? What else can I do? He's obviously financially sound, so it's not a money thing at all. And I don't think he's winning. I don't think he's competing for the money. I don't think he's fishing to make a living. He YouTubes and makes baits and NFG and all these other things to make a living, which is fine. He fishes because it's fun and he's passionate about it. But it's that never satisfied mentality. It's the what's next? What else can I succeed at? And you never know if you don't try. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping that I pull, as a co-angler in the Open Series, I'm kind of hoping I pull him as a pro. You know, that would be great. I haven't seen the roster, and I don't know who else is signed up in the Open Series, the Southern Opens, but I'm kind of hoping I'll pull him as a pro for one of my 2 days. That would be phenomenal. And I think there's not, and I know he's got a bunch of pros in his corner, so he gets help. You know, Jacob Wheeler, Scott Martin, Dustin Connell, all these guys, and probably give them tips and tricks and things to look out for and learn for when it comes to pro fishing. Not necessarily fishing itself, because he's a good stick. That man can catch some fish. But I think submerging himself in technically like throwing yourself to the wolves for people like us is how you learn. You do much better under pressure, and I think he obviously succeeds with insurmountable pressure. I do too. I do my best work under pressure. I learn very well with baptism by fire. That's just how some people do. Man, I saw a podcast with Luke Duncan and the Traveling Circus. I love that man. And Dave Mercer, and Dave Mercer, I mean, said that he's absolutely, said that Robert is batshit crazy. I mean, just bonkers. But has got a giant set of titanium cojones. And I don't disagree at all. That being said, being safe and never taking chances never gets you anywhere. It leads to a very complacent, very mundane lifestyle. And some people are okay with that, and that's okay. But I'm excited for the 2021 season. I want to see how he does. I look forward to hopefully fishing with him. At a minimum, getting to meet him at some point in time. Just because, like I say, it's weird as shit. Like, I feel like I know this dude on a personal level when I really don't. I've just watched him via YouTube for the last 5-6 years. Dude probably has no idea who I am, but that's okay. But No idea where I'm going. Oh. Enough talking about that. I've said my piece. Yeah, somebody I can flip that thing. Anyways, farm update. We now have, I haven't showed you any videos, any pictures, I haven't said nothing about it, but I was going to make a video about us building a rabbit hutch for the random rabbits that we acquired randomly. Seriously? People like you, why people like me need medication. Go and get somewhere. We acquired 5 mini Rex rabbits, and we just sold 2 of them. But I was going to show a video of building the hutch. That turned out to be a huge ordeal and would have been like it took me like 5 hours to build this little hutch because I got one hand. And I love my girl, I really do, but there's some things that we can't do together, like building a hutch. It was not fun times at all. But it's together, it's working, it's serving its purpose, and it was a lot cheaper than buying one pre-built. I think we've got around $35 in this hutch, and to buy a pre-assembled hutch in the same dimensions, maybe a little bit smaller, is about $125. What are we going to do with the rabbits, you say? Eat them. They are meat rabbits. They are mini Rexes. And we should have enough to start with after their first litter, and we start holding them back and doing genetic diversifications. We should be able to produce enough meat to have 1 rabbit meal a week. And if we have any leftovers, we will start processing them and mixing it into the dog food to make the dog food go a little bit farther, because we have, oh God, 12 adult German Shepherds? Yeah, a bunch. Currently we have 10 puppies out of the litter. We've got another litter on the way. And I'm looking at getting a yearling bull, be a red or black white-faced baldy, here in the next couple of weeks for my 3 heifers. And the goal with them is to start with a very small herd and eventually build up to a decent herd. I'm not looking to make $100 grand a year on selling cows, but if they can put a little bit of quality farm-raised meat in my freezer, especially knowing where it came from, as well as essentially paying for themselves, it's kind of what I'm looking for. Our chickens are doing very well. Very well. We're still getting between 8 and a dozen eggs a day. Most times. Sometimes we don't get any. Sometimes we get a dozen. But we go through eggs like nobody's business. Between us eating them for breakfast or baking or whatever, or feeding them to the dogs because it's really good for their coat, that's what we do. What else are we looking at? Pigs. probably in the next 3 months. I'm gonna build another enclosure when I can run a auger by myself. I'm gonna build another enclosure to keep. Ultimately, I'd like to have 3 sows and 2 boars. Probably not gonna happen because it gets a little spicy. You got 3 sows in heat and 2 boars there at the same time. They will, no doubt, fight themselves, and I don't want my investments to injure themselves and not be able to produce me meat and or money. So probably end up doing 3 sows and an adult boar. I do organic farm raised pork. Hopefully starting that in the next 3 or 4 months. The end all goal is to have a very self-sufficient, self-sustaining, not necessarily profitable, but break-even farm. If we make money on it, outstanding. If we don't, no harm, no foul. As long as we break even. And there is talk of doing a very small bison herd, but again, I'm kind of limited on space. I'm going to have to lease property for my cows and change our fencing and our property structure for the bison, because I don't think anybody in the immediate area would be like, yeah, you can put these 2,000-pound angry creatures on my property, that's fine. There's no telling. Really no telling. I just don't see that being a feasible thing. So it'd be a lot easier to lease property for our cows and restructure ours fencing wise and pasture wise to accommodate a small head or a small group of 6 to 8 head of bison. If we get 3 cows and a bull, 4 cows and a bull, the initial investment is going to be quite pricey. You're looking between $1,300 and $1,225 a head for cows and bulls respectively. The problem is they are such a family-oriented animal. You can't have one. It just doesn't work. There ain't hardly a fence one gonna keep a single cow or a single bison, buffalo, whatever you want to call it, from getting to another herd of some sort, whether it be a herd of cows, could be a pack of horses, don't matter. If a single buffalo is by itself, it will figure out how to get there. So we're looking at 6-foot tall fences, 7 strands of wire, 3 of them being hot, and restructuring the fence on the property to where we can move them from pasture to pasture safely and efficiently for rotational grazing, because they need a lot more than a cow when it comes to grazing. They need more land than a cow does. That dude's car got shot. Oh well. There's 4 fundamentals from my research into safely and efficiently raising bison. It's food, family, water, and common sense. And I'm hoping if we do follow through with the bison thing, that I got enough common sense to raise them safely, because they're a different creature. You think about your most athletic PBR bucking bull, jump 3 or 4 feet in the ground. You give it twice the attitude and a little more athleticism, and you got a bison. There's no doubt that if they wanted to or something spooked them, they would jump a 4-foot fence. No doubt whatsoever. So, alright y'all, this video is getting a little bit long. Might have to make it 2-part. Might have to just make it really long. I don't know. But I am almost to Nashville. So I will check in with y'all later. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Y'all have a beautiful day.